Hey guys, welcome in this new video. In the last video we've looked at how we can open a file, write and read from a file, and then close the file again. In this video we're going to dive a little bit deeper into how we can actually write stuff into files. Alright, so in this video we're going to take a deeper look into how we can actually write stuff to files. Alright, so let me open a blank VI. Alright, so in the last video we've looked at the open, close, and write. Oops, that's the wrong one. There are other functions in here as well, like this format into file, scan from file, write binary. I don't use this a lot. Let me show you how it works. With this way I can actually write multiple stuff or multiple numbers into a file. So I've still opened the file. Oops, that's the wrong input. Open the file, write and close. And I have two error inputs. Again, the wrong one. Two error inputs and outputs again, and you can see here in the bottom left corner that I have a numeric input, so I can just create a constant and input a number in here. If you look very closely you can see it's actually a double number, so it depends on what the input is, a double numeric value. If I double click, left click on it, then I can actually edit the format. So I can actually change the number input. I can change it into a string, for example, or okay, whatever. I can change it to whatever I want. Then we have we can add as many numbers as we want. But there's a problem with this because in the top we have the format string. And in this input we need to tell the function what the function is going to write. And if I have a double or a specific number, there's a specific caller for that number. In this case I want to write a decimal number, and then I use the percentage sign 0.3f, and this percentage sign 0.3f tells this function you're going to write a number or a numeric value with 3 decimals precision. And if you double click on it, you can again you can change what you're going to write, but it automatically creates what the format string, the corresponding format string. If I'm using, so I have a format fractional number right now, you can see fractional number, 3 decimals, add new operation, another number, then I'm getting this, then I'm getting this format string. So let's copy paste this. So you can see, oh, it automatically inserts it here. So if I have two numbers and I can wire it up like this, then you can see I have the percentage sign twice. Right, so you can imagine if we have a really large amount of numbers in here, this is going to be a problem because this string is going to be really, really long, and we don't want to have that. So that's actually a this is an option to add multiple numbers into the string. Let me just run it for you and I can show you how it works. Let me select the test.txt. And okay, I just inserted 1.5 twice in the text, and you can see, oops, this is from a previous iteration that I had. Here it is. Alright, so I have 1.500, 1.500. If I want to add a delimiter in there with, for example, an space, ensign space, then does that work? yeah, it should work like this. If I run it now again, the same file, then I'm getting a space, an end sign, and a space in there. Alright, so this is how we can insert numbers directly into the spreadsheet. If you want to insert a number via the other function, the write text, where is it? This one that we used in the previous video, then you have to convert the number into a string, because the input format is a string. Okay, so you can use this, convert your number into a string, and then insert your string in here. And we need to use these functions. Alright, so this is an option. There is another way, an easier way, which is these functions, write delimited spreadsheet data. And these we're going to use a lot. This function, everything is included in this function. So we have, you don't need to open the file first. You don't need to have a separate writing function. You don't need a separate closing function. All these are in this one function, and we can insert 2D data, 1D data inside this function, and automatically we can select a delimiter, which is going to separate the values that we have. Let me just insert an array in this function and see what happens. So create a random number generator, and we're going to, let's just create 5 numbers, 5 values. Alright, so this tunnel mode is going to create an array of 5 randomly generated numbers. And it's a 1D array because their numbers are all underneath each other or next to each other. It's an array. It's a one-dimensional array. Alright, so I'm wiring this 1D data up here. Okay, and the rest, the file path, I can leave it open so it automatically opens a I need to close this, by the way. It automatically opens a dialog screen where I can select my file, the 2D data we're not using, the append to file, in this case we'll leave it like this, error we're not using, transpose. So we're probably going to write the array right now in the text file left to right. So we're going to put all the values behind each other with a delimiter. We can actually, with this transpose function, we can actually write everything underneath each other, all the values. Then we have the delimiter. This is actually quite an important one because this delimiter tells me what I want in between of the values. If I just leave it open, leave it like this, then it will automatically, I think it will automatically place a space between all the values. So let's leave it like this for a second. And the format, by default, it's the percentage 0.3f, which is the 3 decimal number. We can also change this into, so it's now 0.3f. We can also change it into percentage %d or any other format that we can use here. Let me quickly explain how we can find, if you need a specific format, you just select the help function. It opens the help of this spreadsheet or write spreadsheet VI. And the format, let's write what the format has to do. Its format is a 0.3f by default, string, 3 digits. The percentage %d is an integer, so it converts all the data to an integer. And the format percentage %s is percentage %s, and it creates a string. Okay, use the format's string syntax. So if you're not sure what format you need to use or what precision you want to save your files, you can go into this help subject help, and you can find here what you need to know. So if you need to display your string in, okay, so 12.00, then you need percentage hashtag G. And you can, for all these functions, you can actually select what you can see what you need and just use that in your string format. For now, we'll leave it at percentage %3f. Alright, so let me run this VI. I'm going to use this again. Alright, so it generated 5 numbers and saved it, and you can see it automatically created, and actually created a tab in there. So it had a delimiter, which was this one, and that's actually a tab. Alright, so that's a way we can actually save files into, or save our elements into a file. And for this same writing function, there's also a read function again. So I can just wire this up. And then file path, all rows, first row. And we can just select what we want to read out. First row, all rows. Let me just read out all the rows. Create an indicator. Alright, so now you can see it first saved the 5 values into the spreadsheet or into the text file, and then it placed it here in the then it read out the text file and placed it here in this array. And this is a 2D array, but it only displays the first row because I only have values on the first row. Right now we're using actually a text file, but I can use a .csv file as well, and that's really convenient because the .csv file is it's already a comma separated file. So if I use comma as a separator or a tab or whatever, it already knows what it is looking for. Test1.csv. Alright, and if I go to, so it already read out the file again. If I open test1, yeah, you can see that it automatically, because it's a comma separated file, it uses comma to separate the functions. But you can see a delimiter. Here it's a delimiter is a tab, and here you can see, if I leave it like this, 0.473, 0.345. Alright, so it works like this. And if we use transpose, I can show you that as well. So let's transpose it now, and if we run it, test1, right? Let's open up test1. And now everything is underneath, so the values are below each other. Alright, so this is how it works with adding arrays into these. Oops, it's the wrong button. Stop. Adding arrays or inserting arrays in file inputs and outputs. So we can save our measurements, but we can also save our everything that has to do with strings. So we can save our name, we can write a story with this. So I'm going to show you that in the next example. Alright, so for this video, guys,